A congressional aide has been briefing reporters on what else we're learning from the State Department and what kind of impact they think the Keystone review will have.
Well, I think this is a key point. This is a key cog in the entire process. I think the key thing to say, though, and what actually Jay Carney, White House press secretary, just said a couple minutes ago in his briefing is that, as you said, this is just one step. This is a big step, undoubtedly. There were not major changes from the draft report that we saw last year. So I think, as you pointed out, environmentalists are not going to be happy. They thought that this kind of another look at this report would give them a shot to look that there would be major impact, particularly on climate change. So they're not getting that. But again, what this does now is it starts off another process. There's going to be a public comment period. There's also going to be opportunities for industry groups to come in and talk as well. Secretary of State John Kerry is slated to make the final discussion, but also what we know from administration aides is the president has the option of weighing in here. Now, very unclear. White House stays pretty far away from this, particularly while it's in state's jurisdiction. But again, we have started kind of the final countdown that everybody's been waiting for. Not a huge move forward right now, but definitely a step forward for sure, Olivia.
And ultimately, it will be up to John Kerry and the president to decide whether or not this is in the interest of the nation to have the Keystone pipeline go ahead forward. Let's just talk a little bit about the pros and the cons here. You know, opponents were saying that the Keystone pipeline was going to cement U.S. dependence on fossil fuels and really was going to do a lot of environmental damage. We've had a lot of strong voices against the pipeline, including Tom Steyer comes to mind on air. Walk me through some of the arguments against the pipeline, Phil.
You mentioned Tom Steyer, and he's the money and the loudest voice behind this. And I think their big issue right now, and I think why the advocates against this are so upset and have been so upset about the State Department's review of this, is that it simply is not addressing the concerns that they have. They don't feel like they're reviewing all the information. They don't feel like the firm that's contracted out to do this review has all of the information. I think there are major concerns about what this will do from a tar sands perspective, and they don't feel like that's being factored in right now. I think the hope, obviously, is that White House officials, particularly on the environmental side, will come to their aid as this moves further along in the process. But again, can't stress enough, White House officials very wary of weighing in on this. They don't want to be tagged with the decision until it's actually time for it to happen. And right now, environmental groups, Tom Steyer, especially among them, top among them, are really calling on the White House to step in here. Whether or not that's going to happen anytime soon is anybody's guess, but I don't think there's any indications it will.